Hey everybody, Dave Hodges here, host of the Common Sense Show. We are the show that's freeing America one enslaved mind at a time. Thank you so much for joining us. As a program note, I just want to let you know on my website, same name, I posted a song by Linda Winter about Lahaina, and I think it's worthy of your visit. It encapsulates much of the story in a 4 minute and 50-second song. It's incredible. This song is already reaching opposition in terms of it being blocked in various media. Fortunately, it's not being blocked here, and I hope that doesn't become the case. I don't think it will be. Hey, we're the show that's freeing America one enslaved mind at a time, but we need your help. So subscribe. That increases our algorithm, brings more people to us. Share the work. We need to educate the public because the public has moved on from Lahaina. They never were really involved because the media wasn't really involved. And we have an attention span of about 2 seconds these days. And we need to keep issues like this at the forefront because it really bears out the fact that we're being governed by some pretty evil people. And I think that we need to keep this story alive. But this story here is a little more lighthearted than what we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about the state of individual family wealth in a faltering economy and how you compare. And I'm not trying to rub it in because in this economy today, I'd be the last person to point fingers and say, this is your fault. No, it's our fault because we let certain people get control of our government and we didn't stop it. That's our fault. And we can correct the mistake. But I want you to see where you're at. And perhaps this will motivate you to action. But also, we're not just going to look at income, we're going to look at education. We're going to look at crime, some real indicators for quality of life. And I hope this is an eye-opening experience for some of you, and I hope it'll motivate you to some level of political action. We're brought to you by Noble Gold, the very best in asset management, because they teach you to do what we should be doing, and they don't teach you in school how to do. Diversify, diversify, diversify. And the less contact you have with a bank, the better off you're going to be because they can keep your money under the Dodd-Frank law of 2010. You're an unsecured creditor. And as these banks begin to fail over time, they're going to use your assets to cushion their fall. Don't let them do it. Get your retirement out of the bank if you have it there. Also diversify much of your bank holdings because if you don't, you're going to wake up one day and it's going to be 1929. The bank will be closed and they'll have your money. You can still make some adjustments now to lessen the pain of the fall of this economy. Let me send you a free information packet. DaveHodgesGold.com is where you go to get it, DaveHodgesGold.com. Or if you feel the urgency of the moment, you can call Noble Gold directly at 877-646-5347, 877-646-5347. And we do our due diligence here. We say we make no promises except for the fact that you get good customer service, honesty, integrity, and a history of success. But also we have to say this too, past performance cannot be indicative of future performance. It's too bad FTX and groups like that didn't put out those kinds of warnings, right? We might have saved a lot of misery, but they were giving $40 million to the Democratic Party. So what the heck, right? One hand washes the other until the public demands justice. And now Sam Bankman-Fried's going to find out that the people he was serving have no loyalty to anybody but themselves. He could very well be headed to prison after his conviction. Anyway, Noble Gold, the best there is out there, ladies and gentlemen, 877-646-5347. And when you convert your retirement account, they'll give you a beautiful 5-ounce silver bullion coin, America the Beautiful, just a way of saying thank you. Noble Gold is a great group to work with. I've been a customer for 5 years, been advertising for 6. Okay, so let me give you some breakdown here of statistics regarding relative income. And I got this from the US Census Bureau. Now, the figures are 2021. And you're saying, well, that's, kind of outdated. Yeah, but that's how the census works. You're not going to get last week's report. Okay, so this is the latest data that they have put out, probably the most accurate data that you're going to find. Now, today, the average home is worth about $400,000, thanks to groups like BlackRock driving the price up. At this time, at the beginning of the pandemic, the average home value was about 300,000. Keep that in mind as we go through these figures, because this will really jump out at you. Okay, we're going to break down by age how people are doing, and we're going to use a figure called median family income. Median means 50% or above and 50% or below. It's not the average, it's not the aggregate, it's median, 50% above, 50% below. All right, if you're under 35, the news is not good. Median family wealth is $30,500. It's tough to live on today. That's really tough to live on. By the way, these figures are largely based on wealth for retirement accounts and also home equity. And not a lot of people under 35 own homes. And I'll tell you, anybody who's not in a home right now is going to have a good deal of difficulty getting into a home. 35 to 44, medium family wealth, 127,000. Keep in mind, the average home at this time was $300,000. 45 to 54, 186, 55 to 64 in age, 276,000, 65 to 69, 341,000. Oh, we finally got a number that's above the average price of a home. And it took you to get to the ages of 65 to 69 to get there. 70 to 74 is 373. That's number one on the list. And then the income starts to go down at 75 and below, 315. Keep in mind, 65% of the people in this country live month to month. And I think we see a reflection here where the average family wealth does not even equal the average family, the average value of a home at that time. It's pretty disturbing. Well, people like to ask me about education too, because that's on people's minds. And be careful when you go to school board meetings. You might end up like Sharona Bishop in the Police State movie, someone who I've gotten to know here recently, and I interviewed her recently on my show. She had her door kicked in for saying she didn't want her kids to learn about CRT because she didn't want to raise her kids to be racist. Imagine that. FBI kicked in her door, walked in, didn't even have a warrant ready, seized all their electronics, manhandled her teenage daughter. Yeah, pretty bad stuff. So be careful when you protest education, because Merrick Garland's family, his son-in-law and daughter, they own Panorama Education. Guess what they make their money on? 1619 Project, CRT, you get the idea. All right, Utah is ranked number one in education in the nation. Washington State, and this surprised me, number two. Really surprised me, the liberalism there, where you can graduate. This is in Oregon, by the way. You can graduate from high school now and not have to demonstrate proficiency in math, reading, or writing. Idaho is number three. Nebraska is number four. And Minnesota is number five. Oh, we got some liberals up there, right? In the top five. Interesting. All right. What about crime for these same places that have good education? Because now we get an indicator. Washington is 19th in crime in the nation. It's liberal. Nebraska 26th. They're fighting off the liberals. Minnesota's 20th. What about economic status? Does education level match economic wealth? Interesting. Utah first in education, but 12th in economy. Washington second, 13th in economy. In education, Idaho is third. They're second in economy. Nebraska fourth, and they're 10th in economy, fifth and 15th. And I ran those five numbers. I used the Pearson-R correlation method, not very difficult to do. And the correlation between family wealth and the economy as a whole is significant, but not strong. It came out to be a little over 0.6. Okay, and that's almost to the level of significance. Anything over 0.7 is considered to be pretty strong. Who has the highest crime for cities? There's a real pattern here that jumps out at you. Let's see if you get this. Memphis is number one. This is not the one you want to be one in. I would have guessed Chicago, but Memphis is one. St. Louis is two. Oakland is three. Baltimore's four. New Orleans is five. Detroit is sixth. Lubbock, Texas. This kind of surprised me. This is the outlier. They were next. Chicago was eighth. What do all those cities have in common, minus Lubbock, Texas? They're blue controlled Democratic cities. This is why Newsom is referred to the best salesman that U-Haul has. What at 300,000 people, 340,000 people left California in the last 2 years. In fact, try to rent a U-Haul coming out of California. You'll pay over $2,000. Try to get one going in there. You'll run it for about 300. People want to escape the madness. And it is madness. And see, the whole country is going to be consumed by this cancer if we don't stand up and fight against it. But anyway, how do you compare with this? What kind of situation are you in? I just thought you'd find this interesting for you to compare your situation to where you're at. Are you above or below the median on those figures I read to you? Do you live in a high crime area? Are you happy with your schools? And I'm going to say this too to close. A lot of people say, I can't homeschool my kid. My wife and I both work. I hear this quite a bit. But let me just share this thought with you. If you would really look into homeschooling, if you're unhappy with your schools, they're doing the woke stuff, teaching things they shouldn't be teaching first graders. First graders should not be learning about oral sex. I think we all agree on that. But unfortunately, some of the people running our school do not agree on that. And if you say, I've had enough, but I don't know that I can work around it, well, you can. If you look into homeschooling, they have consortiums, they have partnerships, and they work through all kinds of challenges with lifestyle. And I would really encourage you, if you're unhappy, take a look at that. Anyway, it's good talking to you this morning. I hope you got something out of this. Sometimes it's interesting to compare where we sit compared to other people. We'll see you back here next time. Take care.